Pendle Finance has been on fire over the past year, with their protocol shooting up from about 22 million in TVL at the beginning of last year, currently sitting at over 486 mil. Additionally, the Pendle token has just hit a new all-time high as of the time of this recording. It looks like it may make its way into the top 100 if this continues. So in today's episode of the Everything Crypto Show, we are going to break down exactly what the Pendle Finance protocol is and how it is helping users earn additional yield on their crypto. Now, before we hop into the content, just a friendly reminder that I am not a financial advisor, nor do I offer any sort of financial advice on YouTube. I am simply here for your crypto news and entertainment purposes. And if you do find the videos informative and or entertaining, please consider hitting that sub and like button and turn that notification bell on so you can be notified when all of our latest videos go live on the channel. So this video is created in collaboration with Pendle Finance for their creator campaign. It is sponsored by the Pendle Finance team, and I am looking forward to kind of hopping into the Pendle Finance app, breaking it down for you guys, showing you what it does have to offer. But as always, please do your own research and assess your own risk. So for starters, Pendle Finance is a protocol that is currently operating on 4 different chains. It is operating on Ethereum, Arbitrum, BNB, as well as Optimism. And as we can see, they have also really been taken off in terms of that TVL, pulling basically a 20x in total value locked on the platform from last year alone, from about 22 mil up to 486 mil. So why exactly has the TVL gone up so much on Pendle Finance? Why has the token printed new all-time highs as we speak? Well, there's a really good thread that breaks all this down that I do want to cover before we actually take a first-hand look at the protocol. So this is a thread written by DeFi Made here, and he says, at the moment, Pendle Fi is one of my favorite protocols tech-wise, but it is complex and we'll need a few threads to explain how it works. But this is kind of like the beginner thread to explain what you can do with the platform, and it does a really good job of breaking this down. So what is Pendle? It basically allows splitting yield-bearing assets into principal tokens, so PT, and yield tokens, YT. This brings the TradFi interest derivative market, which is worth over 400 trillion in notional value, into DeFi, making it accessible to all, where the principal tokens is the equivalent of zero coupon bonds, while yield tokens is the equivalent of coupon payments. So in other words, principal tokens entitles you to just that, the principal of the underlying yield-bearing token, redeemable after maturity. So for example, if you own 100 principal tokens for USDC with a 1-year maturity, you will be able to redeem 100 USDC after 1 year. Additionally, the yield tokens entitles you to accrue the yield of the underlying token in real time, and the yield accrued can be manually claimed at any time. So if you own 100 yield tokens for USDC and it has an average yield of 5%, you will have accrued 5 USDC by the end of the year on top of the principal that you put down. So maturity is the date at which PT becomes fully redeemable for the underlying asset, and the yield token stops accruing yield. And we can actually see here, if we take a look right on the app, for example, and then we actually go to trade. And here's an example of that. So it shows you exactly when the maturity of it is. It shows you the underlying yield for the yield tokens and the discount. So you can see that firsthand on the app itself. Pendle enables users to execute advanced yield strategies, such as longing assets at a discount. So in simple words, you can buy an asset at a discount and it can be redeemed fully against the underlying asset at maturity and is tradable anytime. So for example here, okay, we can actually see that there was an yield asset at a discount. It was offering a 6.92% discount for maturity in June of 2024, which is over a year and a half away. So basically, you are getting a 7% discount on your Ethereum for waiting to maturity, and then you are able to claim that ETH and effectively do whatever you would like with it. So a really interesting concept, which I have not seen many or any DeFi protocols actually do, to my knowledge anyways. It's not something I have seen before this, and it definitely is super interesting. So when you're buying your principal token, you are effectively locking in your APY at the current implied yield when you do so, and no matter what will be the yield of the underlying tokens, you will get the fixed yield that you bought at the time, so kind of dodging that volatility. And yeah, you do also have simple mode right there. So when buying an asset at a discount, the user is giving up the underlying yield. In other words, a user is holding principal tokens and selling yield tokens to other users. The monetary value of the yield token allows the principal asset to be sold at a better price. And once maturity date is reached, the principal token can then be claimed for the underlying yield bearing token. So, for example, the yield on the wrapped liquid ETH to wrapped ETH on Aura Finance is 7.77%, but if you brought the same liquidity pool to PendleFi, you would get 28.1 to 60.8%. So, very interesting stuff there. They say the only additional risk for LPs is Pendle smart contracts, which have been audited, which obviously does not guarantee 100% protection from exploits, which is why I say do your own research and assess your own risk when it comes to DeFi. You can see here, though, that, there is risk, and this is some of the reward that you are incentivized with for that risk. We can see here that they do offer some very nice yields, and this was actually supercharged with ARB incentives, as they did apply for the 2 million ARB grant, and it was granted. So congratulations to the Pendle team on that. That is definitely a very nice, big thing for them. And we're going to take a look at the actual app itself. Okay, so this is the Pendle app on Arbitrum. Let me pull that up. And very similar to how we just discussed, here we actually have the option to buy these assets at a discount with the maturity. Here you can see the fixed yield that is being offered here over on Arbitrum. And you can also take a look at the different liquidity pools that they are offering and the yield. We got double-digit yield here on Lido Finance, and it is up to an 11% yield, okay? So effectively, you are getting yield on the staked Ether here through Lido Finance. Then you can take it to Pendle and earn even more yield on that. Now, Pendle Finance does hit some pretty big narratives out there for the market, in my opinion, such as LSDeFi, so DeFi protocols built on top of liquid staking derivatives, effectively enabling users to stake their tokens, take those liquid staking tokens, which are already getting yield, so effectively getting to double dip on your liquid staking tokens, as you can see here. And you can also see the different options that you are getting in terms of that contract for maturity. Trading rewards are also incentivized in ARB, which I believe is also funded from the grant. And one last thing I do want to point out is that you can also see that the yield options do vary based on the chain. So we've been focusing on Pendle on Arbitrum, but if you go over to Pendle on ETH, the actual assets being offered for yield changes, and I'm sure that is also the same for BNB. Yeah, it's the same for BNB. So you can definitely feel free to check it out on the preferred chain of your choice. Now, Pendle Finance has also seen some really big backing from institutional names. We actually saw Abra Global, who manages over 500 mil in assets under management in crypto assets on behalf of clients. And then it's actually enabled Abra to optimize its ETH portfolio in a transparent, non-custodial manner. And we've also seen institutions actually go ahead and back Pendle Finance with actually helping them raise money. So they have a pretty strong investor lineup here. First of all, with Binance Labs, which did actually grant them a fund right here. And, Pendle Finance did in fact launch on the Binance Smart Chain. We also did see Spartan Capital invest in Pendle Finance via an OTC purchase. And we also saw Bixen Ventures invest in Pendle via an OTC purchase. And I'm assuming the OTC purchase would have been for their actual Pendle token. And that wouldn't be a shocker, because if we actually take a look at this token over the past year, it has gone from 8 cents up to, let's say 8.7 cents up to $2.40, making for a 2,700% gain in a year, just under that, sitting at 26.88. Now, what I find super interesting about this token is the fact that as of the time of this recording, it has actually broken out to a new all-time high, and it effectively is in price discovery as we speak. You can see here that at the depths of the bear market, this thing was trading at like 5 cents. And yeah, it has definitely been a very strong performer here, as it does look to make its way into the top 100. Now, we can actually go ahead and take a look at what VPendle is for. And basically, you lock Pendle for vPendle to participate in governance, and vPendle does actually offer an additional yield as well. So you receive a boosted yield and a say in where Pendle incentives go. So locking up your Pendle does actually have utility for the platform itself in the form of more yield. It does have a lockup period. The amount of vPendle that you receive is proportional to the quantity and duration locked, but all of that is demonstrated here on their website. So on that note, I hope you did enjoy the content. I hope you are all staying happy, safe, and healthy, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out for now.